Welcome back, everyone. Can I just say that this film is like fine wine and gets better each time I see it?
Uh, yeah.
I see something new almost every
Um,
time.
yeah. No, it is a quite the bomb, as the kids would say.
The kids, the 90s
Radical.
kids. Radical, yes. Um, I should preface that this is a full spoiler, in-depth review discussion thing, kind of, because I haven't been saying spoiler warning and just openly start talking about the ending of films. So maybe we should preface this a bit more carefully next time round. Um,
Okay, yeah, fair.
uh,
Um,
so this film bombed at the box office when it came out in 1999, and slowly grew its cult following on DVD, like American Psycho, and it's
when are
fucking
we going to
awesome.
talk about American Psycho? You mentioned it. We could
Uh,
talk about it sometime.
we can. It's very special to me. I love it to death. It is one of the.
The next podcast is Jaws 3 anyway.
Oh yes,
Um,
and to preface, I've already seen Jaws 3. I rewatched it yesterday. Got a bit of a head start.
no, yeah.
We'll leave that for next time because
Yeah,
I've still got notes to collect.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
still need to do
fine.
that.
I'm just working ahead. But Fight Club is what we're here to talk about. Other movies for another time. This movie is absolutely phenomenal. I don't know a film that's had nearly as much of an impact on my life as this film, and I I really struggle to find flaws with the film. Is there any you could think of
Yeah.
off the top of your head?
Resetting everyone's debts, that wouldn't work.
Maybe in the late 90s. I don't know.
I don't think it would have worked.
It might not have. No.
I don't think it would. Even if it did reset everyone's credit card debt, I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have collapsed society as a whole like he planned.
Oh, I honestly wouldn't know. I'm not a broker. um. So, how did you come about finding this film?
I remember, I was in maths class once, and I was like, this maths class is not fucking holding my interest very easily. So I opened up my computer, middle of maths class, naturally.
Yeah.
Went onto Netflix. I was like, what could I watch? I saw Fight Club was on Netflix at the time. It's not on Australian Netflix anymore.
No,
As far
not
as I'm
anymore.
aware. But yeah, I was in maths, and then I put my earphones in. The teacher at this point was making full eye contact with me, and I started up the film, and then I watched it.
Just didn't give a shit. How did you even get Netflix to work in school?
I have a VPN.
Nice. Because I'd struggle to even just get YouTube or anything because they like to block so much stuff.
Oh yeah, no, because the thing is also, me and a couple of my mates found out what the password was to get unrestricted access to
Nice.
basically anything
Well,
on school Wi-Fi.
quick drop for the school that I'm at. For anyone that's watching that's from the same school, the Wi-Fi password for the school is teddy bear, no space between, just lowercase.
That's true.
Yeah, that is true. That is the Wi-Fi password for the school around here. Well, I mean, no one would ever guess it, but I suppose someone did. Just out of, I can't remember who found it, but that was the Wi-Fi password. Well, I found the film in amidst watching boxing movies and fighting movies. I all of a sudden came across Fight Club, and I asked someone, "Is this any good?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's really good." I put it in. I started watching, and I thought, "All right, I'm ready for like." I thought it's gonna be a bit more of like a gritty, kind of like what the Fight Club is, where it's on concrete and or bits of cardboard, or
Yeah.
maybe it's just it's got Brad Pitt in it, and
Looks
then
fun as hell.
yeah, I really thought I was in for something more like a boxing film, something very straightforward. And it
Yeah.
started with support group meetings, and I was like, "What the fuck am I watching?" These shots of Tyler Durden appearing, a penguin saying "slide." I was, what is happening? And it really caught me off guard, and it's forever changed my perception of the world.
Oh yeah.
In Tyler Durden we
Now,
trust.
yeah. Now that I've brought it up, the fact that I watched this film in maths, it's even funnier because the seat that I was always in is front middle. So basically, everybody else in the class was also watching Fight Club.
Yes, spread the message. So, how much do you know about like the idea that inspired Fight Club, the novelization, the film?
I've read the book.
Oh yeah,
But
cool.
I don't really know what inspired that. I read the book a long time ago. That was when I was still in school. I was in maths at the time.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the author Chuck Palahniuk.
Yeah,
I don't know how to pronounce the last name.
I don't know how.
I'll just call him Chuck. It's much easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, he first came up with the idea for the novel after being beaten up on a camping trip when he complained to some nearby campers about the noise of their radio. And when he returned to work, he was fascinated to find that nobody would mention or acknowledge his injuries. Instead, like saying such commonplace things as, "Oh, how was your weekend?" And Chuck concluded that the reason people reacted this way because if they had asked him what had happened, a degree of personal interaction would be necessary, and his workmates simply didn't care enough to connect with him on a personal level. And it was his fascination with the societal blocking, which became like a foundation for the novel.
Yes, that's a big thing in the film and stuff. How people just have injuries and nobody acknowledges them.
And I remember reading that when he was writing the novel, he didn't decide that the narrator and Tyler Durden were the same person up until writing 2/3 of the way through in the book. It wasn't planned. But the author Chuck he's since stated that he found the film to be an improvement on the novel, which not many authors will give that to a film. Not that I've seen.
You would not catch Stephen King dead saying that.
Yeah, never. Or J.K. Rowling. No way.
I mean, the Harry Potter movies are worse than the books.
Yeah.
They are awful.
So, well, that's very controversial. We'll leave that for another time. I'm not a big cultist fan of the series, but I think some of them are really, really good. I never got excited or anticipated for one, though. I think I've watched most of them.
I watched all of them and read all the books long after they'd all come out.
Yeah.
And I hated all of them. They were all garbage, fight me.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm not big on them either. Well, this will be very interesting to talk about one day. So, something else I found out only through searching and whatnot, in preparation for the podcast, that there's copyright warnings on DVDs and whatnot. And after the copyright warning on the DVD, there's another warning, and it's from Tyler Durden.
I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't know, and it's only there for a second. And I've got the quote here if you want me to read it again, if you can't remember it.
You can read it out.
Alright.
I remember it, but I didn't know about it.
Yeah. And Tyler said, "If you are reading this, then this warning is for you. Every word you read of this is useless. Fine print is another second off your life. Don't you have other things to do? Is your life so empty that you honestly can't think of a better way to spend these moments? Or are you so impressed with authority that you give respect and credence to all who claim it? Do you read everything you're supposed to read? Do you think everything you're supposed to think? buy what you're told you should want, get out of your apartment, meet a member of the opposite sex, stop the excessive shopping and masturbation, quit your job, start a fight, prove you're alive. If you don't claim your humanity, you will become static. You have been warned, Tyler. And it's only there for a second, but that is so cool.
Yeah. I think I've read that more times than I've read actual copyright messages.
Yeah. Fuck, Edward Norton is good.
Oh yeah.
I just think he's so underrated as an actor. It blows my mind that he does not have an Oscar.
He doesn't?
No, he doesn't. From Fight Club.
Fight Club get any Oscars? It must have, right?
No, I don't
you
think
said-
it did. It was
Yeah, no, you said it wasn't.
yeah, very much
Or
bombed
saved.
financially. Because people, and a lot of that has to do with the marketing.
People don't like being told they're awful.
No, a lot of it was the marketing, and I got stuff for that. Hang on, just amongst my notes. Fuck, okay. I can't find it, but I remember the basis for it. So the way they marketed the film was, like, once David Fincher had finished the piece and presented it, people in the marketing department were not sure how to market a film like this. They were kind of stumped, and they originally had like this very lucrative idea that the marketing would be very minimal and somewhat, related to the film and things. But what they did was 20th Century Fox didn't like the idea of, doing this really weird advertising for it and to keep it minimal and whatnot. And they instead went, no, you know what we're going to do? We're going to market the fuck out of Brad Pitt because Brad Pitt is in our movie, and we're just going to advertise it like it's a boxing movie and not have any of the satirical fun or anything. And they would advertise it on UFC, WWE, things like that in the wrong places.
Isn't that kind of missing the point of the film itself?
It is. Well, that was what happened, is they misadvertised it, and so a lot of people who went in to see the film just didn't get it or wasn't prepared for what the movie actually was.
It was not what they were looking for.
And because of that, this has been since known as one of the biggest movies that critics got wrong, because it just wasn't what people thought it was or even understood at the time. But I think that's
nothing to do with critics. They would have watched it anyway, wouldn't they?
No, critics did watch it and just didn't get it.
No, but they would have watched it no matter how it was marketed.
Yeah, I know, and they did.
That's just critics being idiots.
Yeah, well, it's
has nothing to do with the marketing.
Yeah, well, as I said, it's since been like renowned that
all the critics are wrong except for us.
Yeah, we're the only. Would we? I don't know if I'd even consider myself a critic. I suppose I'm critiquing films. I just like talking about movies.
Yeah.
Talking about films that I
We
love
don't call
and
them
don't
critiques.
like.
No one could say we're wrong.
Yeah, we're film buffs.
Well, maybe you're buff, but I feel like I'm a bit more of a twink.
Film buff and film twink. Let's go.
Yeah.
New podcast name.
Hell yeah.
So, I suppose it's early, but a lot of the stuff I've got is closely related to more trivia time, really, on things that actually happened and whatnot, and how things were done. Would you like to jump straight into that?
I can talk about that.
Yeah? Alright. Trivia time sound effect. There we go.
No sound effect.
There is a sound effect. If you've been watching them, there's been a sound effect each time.
I haven't.
We have a trivia sound effect.
Why would I watch them? I was already there.
I don't know. But we have one. And it's really funny. It's like, looking back, if we do another, 20 to 50 of these, and you've still never heard the actual trivia sound effect, that's gonna be really funny. It'll be like, I've never heard that before.
Watch them,
Oh, thanks. The support's great, man. So there's a scene in the film where Brad Pitt and Edward Norton are drunk and hitting golf balls outside of Tyler's house. Um,
Yes. Baker
and
Street.
they really were drunk and they really were hitting golf balls that were sailing directly into the side of a catering truck.
Did Brad Pitt really not exist?
That's neither confirmed or denied. Although there have been many claims by Fincher that he was real, but you know his credibility and whatnot, I don't know. Um, there's the other scene where they first start fighting each other, where the narrator hits Tyler in the ear.
Yeah.
Edward Norton actually did hit Brad Pitt in the ear.
Yes. I know this.
Yeah, so he was originally going to fake hit him, but just before the scene, David Fincher pulled Norton aside and told him to hit him in the ear for real. And after Norton hits him in the scene, you can see him smiling and laughing while Pitt is in pain.
What a guy.
Brad Pitt says he did not want his parents to see the movie, but he could not convince them not to watch it. They changed
Yeah,
their
I
minds
also know.
after watching the chemical burn scene.
I assumed you were going to follow up the last one. I assumed you were following up the last one with Brad Pitt did not want to be hit in the ear.
Well, he didn't know. I don't even think that he knew he was going to be hit in the ear either. I think it could have been like in the chest or the stomach or something. But he told him to hit him in the ear for real. I found this note really interesting. I didn't know this, and I watched out for it in the most recent viewing. When a Fight Club member sprays the priest with a hose, the camera briefly shakes up and down, and that happens because the cameraman couldn't keep himself from laughing. They couldn't get a single take where he wasn't laughing and could keep the camera still. And I suppose without
Have they heard
the
of a
context,
tripod?
I know. It's got a very handheld feel, the whole film. But I suppose without context and just going like, this is work for the day, I've got to film this priest and this guy fighting each other. It's really funny. So when Tyler catches the narrator listening at the door as he has sex with Marla, he's wearing a rubber glove. This was Brad Pitt's idea, and it caused a great deal of controversy with the president of production at Fox, Laura Ziskin. So she basically greenlit this project, but she was a woman that had so many issues with the offensive nature of the film, and they kind of had to try and sneak by as much as they could. She was horrified when she saw the scene and demanded that it be removed. However, at the subsequent test screening, the appearance of the glove got the biggest laugh in the whole movie, prompting her to change her mind. Something else. Sorry?
Specifically. I don't really know why she'd have a problem with that specifically over many other things in that film.
There's a bigger thing, and it's really funny. There's I noticed this one time watching it that Bob breaks one of the rules of Fight Club, and not the obvious one, but he wears a shirt during his fights, despite it being one of the 8 rules.
Yes, I know that one.
Yeah, not to wear shirts or shoes. And that was because Meatloaf's fat suit had to be covered during these scenes. And I had something else on his actual fat suit.
I'm also pretty sure no one wanted to have to see his massive tits.
Yeah.
They made an exception for the guy with tits, which is fair enough. You have to censor those on TV.
Yeah, well, to ensure that Meatloaf's breasts and love handles hung correctly, his fat suit was filled with birdseed so that it would spill over his pants and give him the impression of the sagging flesh. But altogether, the suit plus the seed weighed over 100 pounds. And the last thing I got on his fat suit was that the makeup artist, Rob Bottin, he had to build 2 different fat suits for him, one with nipples and one without, because the filmmakers weren't sure if 20th Century Fox would approve the suit with the prominent nipples. I just thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. Fair.
Throughout the film, Tyler Durden can be seen wearing blue blockers, a type of sunglasses commonly used by insomniacs to filter out blue light, which is detrimental to the production of melatonin, which is a chemical essential for sleep. And I just thought that was really interesting. So the next note I got here in trivia time is the thing that Laura Zinskin, the chick who funded it, her biggest problem. So the original pillow talk scene had Marla saying, "I want to have your abortion." When this was objected to by Fox, she said, she objected to it, obviously. She hated it. And David Fincher said he would change it on the provision that the new line couldn't be cut. So Zinskin agreed, and Fincher wrote the replacement line, "I haven't been fucked like that since grade school." When she saw the new line, she was even more outraged and asked for the original line to be put back, but as per their deal, Fincher refused. And there's I know this is a note I hadn't written down, but I read it that the chick
Helena Bottom Carter.
Yeah. She, being British over in the UK, different to America, didn't know that grade school meant primary school. And she was horrified herself finding that out after the film was made. Now, there's the infamous incident about Rosie O'Donnell.
I didn't know that either. I thought that was like... I thought that was high school.
No, primary school.
Oh, no.
Fuck, that's since primary
That's
school.
awesome.
That's why she wanted the line changed back to "I want to have your abortion" because it's even worse. Go Fincher. That's fantastic.
Hell yeah.
So I don't know how much you know about Rosie O'Donnell's relation to Fight Club. So there was an infamous incident the Friday that the film was released.
Was she in Fight Club?
She wasn't in the Fight Club. She's the enemy. The Friday that the film was released theatrically in the United States, Rosie O'Donnell appeared on TV and revealed that she'd seen the film earlier in the week and had been unable to sleep ever since. She then proceeded to give away the plot twist ending of the film and urged all of her viewers to avoid the movie at all costs. And Edward Norton, Brad Pitt, and Fincher discussed this incident on their DVD. Yeah, they discussed it on the DVD commentary track, and Pitt calling O'Donnell's actions as unforgivable. So, get fucked. Don't ruin one of the best movies ever.
They should have gone round to her house with cricket bats.
I think that's a threat. I don't think that's right for us to say. That's a bit much, maybe a little bit excessive, some might say. I love how this film, in the smallest of ways,
the best films ever. So.
Yeah, it is. But I love how this film, in the smallest of ways, like, pays homage to other great films in ridiculous ways. Two that I can think of off the top of my head. The first one is that the visible breath in the cave scene at the start, it's actually recycled Leonardo DiCaprio breath from Titanic, which was composited into the shot. And the sex scene with Marla and Brad Pitt, they used the camera trick bullet time, which is the exact same technique used for Neo in The Matrix, like falling back and avoiding bullets.
Yeah.
Little things like that through the whole film. I just don't know. It adds so much. Well, also not really meaning anything.
Well, I can't say.
Alright, so where was I? New point. The scene where the narrator is sitting on a toilet with his pants down while reading an IKEA catalogue. Edward Norton is actually completely nude from the waist down. And Norton talks about it on the DVD commentary, to which Fincher says, "Really?" And Norton then says, "Did you notice that I never had to go to the bathroom that day?" In watching it, I just thought it was really funny. Both Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, they both really learned how to make soap.
Did they do it with human fat?
Of course.
Awesome.
The Fox's executive Raymond Bongiovanni, who died shortly before the project was greenlit, first discovered the book whilst still in galleries. Prior to Bongiovanni's death, he worked tirelessly to get the project off the ground, and in his obituary it said that his last wish was that the novel be made into a film. Woohoo, we
What
got
a
it.
guy.
Yeah, he tried so hard, passed away before seeing it, unfortunately. It turned
That
out
is sad.
absolutely fantastic. Another bit I got here was that Tyler Durden was originally going to recite a workable recipe for homemade explosives, as he does in the novel. So if you've got the novel still, you can make some bombs. But in the interest of public safety, the filmmakers decided to substitute fictional recipes for the real ones in the film. Now this is quite interesting. Even today, in retrospective, I think some people can look at this scene in poor taste. But the scene where the narrator's boss finds the rules of Fight Club in the photocopier, and the narrator points out that whoever wrote it is obviously dangerous and might one day storm through the building shooting everyone. It proved to be a highly controversial scene for the filmmakers. In early test screenings, the scene got huge laughs, and it scored extremely high with audiences. Obviously,
Maybe that's not a scene I should have laughed at in maths.
well, yeah, originally it got massive laughs, and it scored extremely high with audiences. But these screenings happened before the Columbine massacre,
Ooh.
and in all screenings after the Columbine, the scene evoked no laughter whatsoever and scored
Except for me.
Yeah, except for you. And it then scored extremely poorly, with audiences commenting that they felt it was in bad taste. This prompted the studio to ask director David Fincher to cut the scene altogether. Fincher considered doing so, but because the scene leads into the pivotal Marla breast cancer scene, he decided that it couldn't be cut. Here we go. This is the marketing of the marketing piece I was talking about earlier. I could probably just leave it now, since I basically ran over all that already. I thought this was really funny. So, during rehearsals, Brad Pitt and Edward Norton found out that they both hated the new Volkswagen Beetle with a passion. And for the scene where Tyler and the narrator hitting cars with baseball bats, Pitt and Norton insisted that one of the cars be a Beetle, as Norton explained on the DVD commentary that he hates the car because the Beetle was one of the primary symbols of 60s youth culture and freedom. However, the youth of the 60s had become the corporate bosses of the 90s and had repackaged the symbol of their own youth, selling it to the youth of another generation as if it didn't mean anything. Both Norton and Pitt felt that this kind of corporate selling out was exactly what the film was railing against, hence the inclusion of the car. In quotes...
I was gonna ask why they so strongly hated this fucking car.
Yeah. I got in quotes here. It's a perfect example of the baby boomer generation marketing its youth culture to us, as if our happiness is going to come by buying the symbol of their youth movement. Even with the little flower holder and the plastic molding, it's appalling to me. I hate it.
He was very personally offended by them releasing this car.
However, Pitt is quoted on the DVD commentary as saying that he has since had a change of heart about the new Beetle. I think Norton still hates it, though. Now, I wish companies would ease up and let this happen, because David Fincher initially wanted to include a single frame flash of Tyler Durden during the 20th Century Fox logo, but the studio's legal department wouldn't clear him to do so. He then tried to include the image during the Regency Enterprises logo, but the president of Regency also wouldn't allow him to do it. I don't know how much that would have added. Really? I mean, it made you want to go, wait, what? Before the that something different's kind of going on before the film even gets going. Yeah, did you want to recite the point you were just saying?
Yes. The Simpsons movie has Ralph in the
What?
and I think. Yeah, no, he's
Hang on.
standing in the middle of it, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, yes, it does. That's right. It was cutting out a bit, but I do know what you're talking about. The start of the 20th century logo has Ralph in like the zero. Yeah, that well, they let them get away with it. What the fuck? Um. Uh. So something I got here, and not a lot of people talk about this, and there's a lot of always with films. It's about, wow, look at this actor's transformation, putting on weight, taking off weight, doing that. But I thought this one was real remarkable, and it's not ever talked about. But Edward Norton had to lose 20 pounds for this role. After having to beef up tremendously for his role as a neo-Nazi skinhead in American History X.
I've
But
been meaning to watch that for the longest time.
Have you not seen American History X?
I was gonna watch it in maths, but they didn't let me get away with that one.
Oh, no. Don't watch that one in maths. I tell you what, it is probably the best film I've ever seen on racism, period. I think it's absolutely phenomenal. And I have no idea why Norton did not get an Oscar for it, because that role is so daring. It's brilliant. We'll have to talk about that soon. Now, I know another point I got here. I've been looking out so hard because Fincher claimed in an interview in UK film magazine Empire that there is a Starbucks coffee cup visible in every shot of the movie.
I have heard that.
Yep.
That one.
Because I haven't had I haven't had a little. What am I talking about? Hang on. I haven't had the time to sit and watch it just purely for trying to find Starbucks, but I wonder if it's hidden, like in reflections of eyes and close-ups and whatnot, just like the shape. Yes. So, that reversing shot out of the trash can, it's an elaborate digitally animated sequence, and it was the very last shot to be added to the film. It required so much processing time that it almost had to be spliced in wet, which is like fresh from the lab, so that the film could be duplicated on schedule. Due to the amounts of reflective surfaces in the shot, it took almost 8 hours to render a single frame. So the entire shot took 3 weeks to render. During the shooting of the first group scene, where Thomas talks about his wife getting pregnant with another man, an extra became so offended by the subject matter that he stormed off the set, refusing to be paid. So, I didn't know this, and I found this quite interesting. When the author was writing Fight Club, much of the specific content of the novel, such as splicing single frames of pornography into family films, attending support groups for the terminally ill, and erasing videotapes, it came from stories told to him by friends and from things his friends actually did. So, whilst writing the novel...
Man, Chuck has some dickhead friends.
Yeah, just think about it. There was a family film screening out there where pornography was spliced into the film.
Oh, that one I had no doubt was something that
That
actually
is
happened.
so fucking funny.
I'm talking about the dickhead who went to fucking support meetings for the terminally ill for fun.
Oh, no, I thought you were going to say erasing videotapes. You go to buy Fight Club and you can't watch Fight Club. Following the film's release, this, of course, is been widely known that several fight clubs were reported to have started in the United States. A gentleman's fight club was started in Menlo Park, California in 2000 and had members mostly from the high-tech industry. There's still fight clubs starting today in high schools, all sorts of stuff like that.
Man, I wish my high school was that cool.
Yeah, well, there's always been very elaborate fight clubs that have actually appeared. Um,
I remember I heard a few years back of a fucking kindergarten fight club.
I remember the last one I seen that was on TV. Fuck, man, I haven't watched TV in a long time. It was one of it was like a footy locker where like the coach was getting his like players to fight each other and whatnot, and he had like a broom or something and was hitting people, and it was just weird.
I was with you up until you said he was just hitting people with brooms.
Yeah, I remember him having like a straw broom and like was nudging people along with it and kind of smacking people. Got these footy players to fight each other.
And that's made it weird, not cool.
Yeah.
Now I think it might be a thing for him.
Yeah, well, it was filmed and put on TV and it's since all gone to shit. Well, speaking of like those terminally ill sport groups, prior to filming, Edward Norton and Helena considered visiting real support groups for the terminally ill, but they decided against it as due to the satiric nature of the film. They didn't feel it was appropriate.
And that would be pretty. Seen a movie with them in it before. And knew who they were.
Yeah. Something else, I didn't know how far in detail they'd gone with it, but the film's title sequence is a pullback from the fear center of the narrator's brain, and it's supposed to represent the thought process initiated by the narrator's fear impulse. The sequence was conceived by David Fincher and budgeted separately from the rest of the film. And the studio told him that they would only finance the elaborate sequence if the film itself was any good. After seeing a rough cut, they decided they were happy, and so the sequence went ahead. And the CG brain was mapped out using an L system with renderings by like medical illustrators, and was designed by Kevin Scott Mack of Digital Domain. So it's actually a realistic mapping of the brain coming right from the fear center, and that's really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah,
I never thought anything of that. I was just like,
yeah, I never did either. I thought it was just a way to take you for this ride, like what is going on. Even like that needle drop.
It's kind of like how the intro for Spider-Man's covered with webs, even though it has nothing to do with spiders.
God, I can't keep going. Okay, so when the narrator comes downstairs in his house after supposedly being asleep following the car crash, he enters the kitchen and Steph is slapping a space monkey, shouting at him about how worthless he is. Do you remember that?
No.
So, like,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Tyler Durden's just please come down. The house is alive and moving. So the guy who's getting slapped, being called a space monkey, getting shouted at how worthless he is. While shooting the scene, the extra playing the space monkey got so fed up with being slapped that he stormed off set and had to be replaced. And the actor seen in the finished film is the replacement actor. So I had another person storm off. Something I noticed, and I can't believe I picked it up, that Marla Singer's phone number is the same as Teddy's phone number in Memento. I hope you've seen Memento. It's It's so fucking good. I swear he just loves to be stuck in
It's
his own
great. We
delusion.
might go into that one another time.
Yeah, definitely. Um, this is one of those films that had uh, so much footage, so much more than an average film. Filming lasted 138 days, with over 300 scenes shot on 200 locations and 72 sets constructed. Uh, David Fincher shot over 1,500 reels of film, more than 3 times the usual amount for an hour and 20-minute film. Um, they just filmed
Film only an
everything.
hour and 20 minutes long.
Yeah, it was 2 hours. Runs just over 2 hours.
Oh, you mean 120 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you said I thought you said an hour and 20 minutes.
Oh no, sorry, 120 minute. I might
Yeah,
have
no.
said that. Sorry.
I might have misheard you.
During one of the exterior shots in an urban residential area, a man on one of the apartments above the working film crew got so annoyed with the noise that he threw a 40 Oz beer bottle at them. The bottle hit director of photography Jeff Cronenwelf, who, although he was cut open, was not seriously injured. The man was arrested shortly after. uh, this blew me away, and I suppose it makes sense in retrospective, but it's just not right. Brad Pitt was paid $17.5 million for his part in the film, and Edward Norton was paid $2.5 million. That's gotta fucking hurt. Like, that's such a difference, considering Edward Norton's more or less the lead, really. So it's
no, Edward Norton is the main character, and Brad Pitt is just playing part of Edward Norton's character.
yeah, that's it essentially. I couldn't believe the difference. That is so much.
I guess Brad Pitt is just a way bigger name.
Yeah, especially for the time.
Yeah.
But I would think like Norton would at least be paid $5 million, but no, only
Was
two.
Fight Club after 7?
Yes, I'm pretty sure it was. It was hot off of 7, and I'm pretty sure Fincher directed 7 as well.
Yes, I think he did.
Uh,
That was why I thought of it.
yeah. The layout of the narrator's apartment was based upon an apartment which David Fincher lived in when he first moved to LA. Fincher decided to model the location on this apartment because he claims that whilst he was living there, he always wanted to blow it up.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I got a lump of text here. It's basically just about... I'm going to cut this down because this could just get quite... really slow us down in pace. But it was that with the director of photography and Fincher, they deliberately filmed it with specific lenses so that it was harder to get the correct exposure and whatnot when they were cleaning it up. But even in the extraction process, because of the lenses they used, the final print has a grainier texture than a shot using an anamorphic lens. But both Fincher and the director of photography felt that this extra grain actually suited the tone of the film, and no attempts were made to clean it up or reduce it in the post-production process. So a lot of anything like cigarette burns, they really just left in, and so it's got that very gritty look. And I think it all adds to it. That's where I don't really have a single con. Everything feels very deliberate. And I think every scene just works. It all just weaves one into another. Even the way the CG is and how it's not really clean and it's got that early 2000s feel matches and parallels the grittiness of everything else. I just think it works because everything's, with the narrator
did
having...
the film come out in, again?
1999.
Yeah. Yes. I thought it was 95 for some reason. But yeah.
No, 99 this one, and I just think that even with like the way the narrator is suffering from insomnia and whatnot, all the way to him putting the gun in his mouth and it blowing out with the CG shot, it just all fits right. The dark green tones, browns, the dirty colors, and the way that it's deliberately kind of sabotaged the footage to give it the look that it does.
Yeah.
I absolutely love it. I can't find nearly any con with the film. I can watch it as comedy. I can take it really seriously. There's a lot of really well done philosophy.
Yes.
What else have I got here for trivia? As filming progressed, Norton deliberately lost weight and slept less, while Brad Pitt indulged in tanning bed sessions. Much like Tyler Durden, Fincher worked as a projectionist, as an extra job in his youth.
Did he did he splice pornography into family films?
Well, maybe Fincher was the one behind it. The actress who plays Chloe from the Terminal Support Group, she has the same last name as Marla in Singer. I don't know if that means anything at all, really, but I just thought
I guess that sort of lends credence to the theory that Marla doesn't exist either. Do you?
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure Marla exists.
Yeah. There's theories I've read that basically fucking no one exists.
Well, I mean, you can't believe anything.
Yeah. Yeah, in the film that's a lot more ambiguous. In the book it's like Marla definitely exists. Probably.
Yeah. The
It's been a long time since I read the book. So.
Yeah. Well, I haven't read the novel. I've been meaning to go
pretty
back and
good.
revisit the DVD commentary again.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
you can just find the novel online. I just googled Fight Club novel PDF and I found it.
oh yeah,
I
awesome.
still have it saved on my phone.
Yep. I got some stuff on the final shot, which looks absolutely stunning. The final shot of the collapsing credit bank buildings. It was designed by this guy named Richard Dr. Bailey, who worked on the shot for over 14 months straight. According to Fincher, there are almost 4 million separately animated digital elements in the shot. Which sounds insane. It looks like it's not that special.
Yeah, that's really impressive.
And the buildings that blow up in the end are all Fox-owned buildings, digitally composited into the shot. And you think it's like a deliberate dig at them, but it was actually because it was feared that they would invite legal action against the production if they portrayed real credit card companies blowing up. This is a note I wrote.
Yeah, I think Visa might have a problem with that one.
Yeah, ANZ and Westpac and Commonwealth Bank, might have some issues.
Yeah, PayPal might fucking
Might start a lawsuit. I wrote this down.
yeah. You could not afford.
No, you can't afford to fight banks.
All of your money too.
Yeah. Oh, and no one's a winner.
Yeah.
But I wrote this down during the film. I just picked it out that when the narrator is describing his job, and like it gets stated that the father's fat like burned into the seat or whatever. I thought that may have given the narrator the idea to make bombs out of human fat.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. That was just something I picked out.
That's possible. I'll be honest. When I watched the film for the first time, I thought his job sounded really fun. It's fun and simple. You just go to places, you look at car wrecks, and you write about them.
You just do the same math equation every time.
Yeah.
Um,
Just how I like it.
yeah, I mean, I suppose with a job like that, you get around, get to travel places. But, seeing the film, he doesn't really look like he gets a lot of sleep, though. You don't really get to go home.
I don't either, so...
There's so many little things that try to give you the heads up that the narrator and Tyler Durden are the same person. There are so many, it's almost impossible to count them. But I picked up on some more. One was that when Tyler and the narrator are hitting cars with baseball bats, that Tyler hits first, but the alarm is only triggered after the narrator's hits. Or when the airport employee lends Tyler the car, he's actually looking at the narrator when he says Mr. Durden, and both the narrator and Tyler get through the same door. Or after the car crash where Tyler was driving, Tyler pulls the narrator out of the driver's side of the car.
Yes, that one I've noticed.
There's so many, and each time you watch it, you could pick up more, or try and guess more what was intentional, what wasn't.
There's no incoming calls on it.
Yeah.
And then it gets
There's also never over-the-shoulder shots of Tyler, which would suggest that he exists in the real world alongside other people. During the flashback of how Tyler and Marla meet, Brad Pitt has no lines of dialogue at all. He just kind of knocks a dildo around. I hope someone that's listening hasn't seen the film and has no idea what I just said.
Yeah. Pretty sure anybody who hasn't seen it's probably stopped watching by now.
Yeah.
Imagine most of the people who have seen it have stopped watching as well.
Yeah, it's just us now. If you've made it this far,
probably
drop a like. We'll love you. I do.
Well, I'll never see if they liked it because I don't watch these.
You'll never hear the trivia sound. It'll never come to you.
It's unlikely. Highly unlikely.
So I've only got one last point. That was that one of the buildings destroyed in the Project Mayhem finale is Fox Plaza, like one of the Fox buildings. But that was used as Nakatomi's tower in the 80s action movie Die Hard. So they blew up the Die Hard building in the final shot. Die Hard ain't got shit on Fight Club, man. It's unreal.
Fuck.
And I only learnt that in searching for some stuff.
Speaking of Die Hard,
yes.
We should talk about RoboCop sometime.
What? How did you get to RoboCop?
I don't know why, but you bring up Die Hard, made me think about how much I love RoboCop.
I will always take your feelings into consideration.
RoboCop.
Well, guess what? I'm gonna slap you a fat dab because no. Actually, I haven't watched RoboCop in a very long time. Fuck, I can't remember the last time I seen it, but I'd love to talk about it at some point. I was gonna smack you with a fat dab because Funny Movie of the Week is back, and I've got a doozy this time.
Yeah.
I found this gem out of nowhere.
Okay.
I can't believe no one had ever talked to me about it. I had never heard about it. But my god, this trailer got me to laugh and hard. So hopefully you really enjoy it, and I'll have it up for everyone to see. So if you're on another tab and it's in the background, now's the time to switch over. Fuck, I hope you like this. I had a blast.
Fuck yes.
Alright, are you ready?
I'm ready to go. Yeah.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, go.
Tell him I'm coming.
You're too late. Hell's gonna walk there.
Fuck
Already
yes.
is walking the earth. They kidnapped my daughter. I am going to get her back.
My whole life has been nothing but waiting, and now it means something. I'm with you until the end.
He's no saint.
Thought you were dead. You hoped I was dead.
She's no angel.
I am going to kill you.
Between now and then, I'm gonna mess you up.
On February 25th,
I'm looking for someone angry with attitude.
Anyone not
This
trying to
movie
kill
look-
you,
they'll
fucking
show no mercy.
I know!
You can't stop me. That baby girl's all I got.
Yes!
Shot in 3D.
Yes!
Drive Angry.
The door!
Radar, February 25th.
Oh, fuck!
Fuck yes.
That was awesome! Drive Angry. I can't believe this went under the radar and I have not heard of it.
Yeah, I am very surprised. I've never heard of that one as well.
How cool was that? Drive Angry. It's absolutely incredible. 2011, I'm pretty sure it was direct to TV.
Yeah, it said official TV trailer, so yeah, it probably was direct to TV,
Yeah.
which is one step above direct to DVD.
It's critics have basically just given it a 5 across the board out of 10, but 82% of users have liked this film.
And it looks awesome, not gonna lie.
What type of gun
Then
is
again,
that?
before
And it's
Kill
got like
Bill.
fucking 6 barrels. Oh god, that's so funny. And then the door that flies off.
I was wondering about the 1-star reviews for Fire.
Oh, 1-star review time. Yes, I suppose we could fit in some of these. Definitely.
There's probably some good ones.
Yeah, there would be some
The
good ones.
advertising?
People... Yes. Yeah, the false advertising, that'll definitely do it. 1-star Fight Club reviews. Oh, here we go. Reviews back from the year 2000.
Hell yes.
Alright.
This is gonna be awesome.
It's called Boring, Overrated, Pretentious, Confused, and Very Silly. Although this film was watchable for the first hour
Pretty sure
or
that
so...
person just described themselves.
Yes. Although this film was watchable for the first hour or so, it goes very rapidly downhill for the sorry remainder of its duration. There are simply too many different ideas vying for the viewer's attention. Intellectuals have found acres and acres of meaning, which David Fincher wanted them to, although he knows he has simply made an extremely pretentious and boring mess. It's not all doom and gloom though. There are some very good set pieces in the first half of the film that actually entertained me for a while. Why would you give it a 1 then?
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Oh,
oh, oh, oh. So,
sounds like you
This-
may have found something.
this review is called Twilight for Males.
I am Jax. Shock and awe.
So, okay, starts with so. It flirts a bit with the ideals of anti-conformism and anti-corporate, in brackets, a bit hypocritical considering a corporate made this movie, but let's pretend otherwise. And then offers as a solution a gang of people meeting up to beat up each other. Like, to hell with the system. We'll make a super gang of fighters and take over. And then what? I see people rebelling, but without any goal or project beside rebelling. We are tired of this system. We make gangs and beat up corporates. I won't even go into the plot flaws of the protagonist, etc., because that would be too easy. Ooh.
But I'd like him to.
A movie for losers with a lot of passive aggressiveness inside and no solution for it. They just want to rebel. A movie for people who will go all F the system and then buy iPhone 17 on first day just to complain the following day about their low-paying job. A movie for those typical guys who talk crap about capitalism, but if you try to offer them a different system, they'll dirty their pants and start sucking their fingers calling Mom State to save them from the terrorist. A movie for those who are all rebellious and when stopped by police will go, good afternoon, agent, and shit their pants.
Who the fuck calls police agents?
I don't know. Good afternoon, agent, with like stuttering and shit their pants. What the fuck? Okay. Last one. How can we... well, it's titled Ultimate, in capitals, Dumb Guy Movie. By John McCroy. This guy's got a name.
Alright.
How can we get Brad Pitt, Edward Norton, and Meatloaf to beat the crap out of each other? It was censored. I just guessed crap. This movie solves that problem and gives the studio license to shoot a film veiled in pseudo philosophies and violence. Jesus Christ. That's some stuff's in a different language.
Pseudo-philosophies.
Yes. It's just dumb. Don't try looking beneath the surface because nothing is there. Maybe that's the point. It provides that men are emasculated and shackled by modern life, their spirits crushed by their jobs and their possessions. In order to escape, you fight. It's so simple. Give up the banalities of ordinary life and find your individuality in a black t-shirt fight gang. Makes sense. Teenage males will certainly think so, since it is filmed in the MTV style, bright color palette, fancy edits, blood, memorizing, and simple philosophies tend to go over well on that demographic. It actually starts out promisingly. I loved the first quarter. Only when it attempts to provide us with answers that are, far out of the grasp of the writers, does it fail. Film buffs, that's me, may want to view it
Yeah.
simply for one of the sloppiest tackled on surprise endings in cinema history. I could only laugh. Bottom line, dumb. Wow. Doesn't Ultimate Dumb Guy movie John McCroy put it down?
Damn. That was the last nail in Fight Club's coffin.
What bright color palette?
Yeah, I'm not certain he watched the same movie as me.
I think he watched a different movie. It's got some fancy edits, yeah, I'll give it that, but bright color palette? No?
You know, I was really thinking about the bright color palette when
Actually-
that one guy just punched that dude in the balls like 40 times.
Actually, there isn't even really fancy edits. The only thing I can think of is Tyler Durden being spliced into things. I'm actually thinking of like visual effects shots, not edits. Actual editing and like scenes being
Yeah,
tied
the thing
together.
is snappy.
Yeah.
It's nothing wrong with it.
No, nothing at
Pretty
all.
good, as far as, you know, everything's
I'm finding that a lot of people are actually understanding still, even though it's 1 star, like it provides that men are emasculated and shackled by modern life. Well, yeah, they kind of get it. Oh, fuck. Okay, I am going to read this last one, the very, very last one, purely based off what the title of the review is called. Okay, it's called 435,000 people gave this movie a 10. It would be interesting to know the ages of the
Good on
people
'em.
who gave this movie more than 5 stars. I just cannot imagine they are older than 20. Most of them must be between 13 and 17. I'm 20.
19.
Yeah. Alright.
I'm 19.
The title of this movie made me avoid it like the pest for a long time, sensing it was going to be bad. Yesterday, I finally watched it, and boy, it was even worse than I thought it would be. It was so bad that from time to time I had to fast forward it.
That was like us watching Killer Bean.
A reference no one will get but us. Oh, we suffered for no reason.
I did. It was probably while the audio was fucking up, but I did mention something earlier about Killer Bean.
So yeah,
Fuck,
this
that
person
movie is painful. Don't let anyone tell you.
Yeah, don't watch Killer Bean, please. Nobody.
Watch the first 5 minutes and then stop.
Yeah, the first 5 minutes are pretty good. They set you up for something better than what we got.
Yes.
So yeah, this person had to fast forward the film because, you know, that's how you correctly watch a movie. This movie's biggest problem. Oh yeah. Unbelievably contrived. Its sole purpose is desperately try to be different, shocking, revolutionary, subversive. It tries so hard that it fails miserably, and for one simple reason: childishness. When I think of Edward Norton beating Jared Leto, I don't think of childishness. I think of Justice for Suicide Squad. But that scene was violent.
I'm sure a lot of people wanted to do that.
Yeah, that's right. This film gets better with age, like fine wine. Watching grown-up men being constantly childish is simply not funny, much less interesting, unless you are a redneck or not older than 17. Oh, fuck. Oh, okay. That'll do for that. It's starting to drag a little bit. Before I stop, I'm going to talk about it again, because I just love this thing. And before I forget it, because I forgot at the start, that the Dust Brothers do not get enough credit for the soundtrack. It's very...
I fucking love the soundtrack.
Oh my god, it's unreal. Like...
I mean, my favourite song in the soundtrack wasn't done by them, I'm pretty sure. It was done by the Pixies.
Yeah, the Pixies did Where Is My Mind. It's very minimalistic, the score, but at the same time, it's not quiet and it's not overbearing. It's done just right.
Yes.
I love when the music really kicks in when Tyler lets go of the steering wheel and you see just the front of the car gliding along the highway. Or even something simple when the narrator's flicking through the catalogue and like it's showing the IKEA furniture appearing around his house. There's so many sequences where the music just hits me and I absolutely love it. And I never hear them get talked about enough. I haven't heard anything else they've ever done, but bloody hell, it's unreal. At least here. Now, I'm not sure if that's everything on Fight Club. I'm sure I missed some things. But it's fucking good. And if you still haven't seen it and you've sat through here and listened to us spoil the whole thing, I implore you to still watch it. Because it's different watching it than just hearing about it.
Yeah. I feel like I don't think anybody would have watched this far, in general, but especially not if they haven't seen the film.
Yeah. Yeah. Chuck Palahniuk made a great novel. David Fincher made an outstanding movie, and I'd give this one of the highest ratings I can possibly give it, which I won't spoil. Not yet. I would love to do something special.
Are you still fucking making reviews, man? It's been like, what, 6 years?
I will. I've been under the pump at work, and all my lights and everything are all packed away, and it's a fucking hassle getting them out and in. I am struggling enough to keeping up with the podcasts, and I want to just keep some consistency with these. While the other stuff will come back, and I'm going to try and push even better to make it, well, much better.
Yeah.
Hopefully I'll try not to work with a green screen next time, or if I'm going to, at least get it better and working right, because there's a lot of clipping issues. It was very hard to have it set up where I'm only in one position.
I hear it works much better if you wear a bright green shirt.
I heard that too, but I'm not sure of the credibility that said comment.
Well, I just said it, so you know it's credible.
Yeah, I suppose it has to be now, doesn't it? Look out for the next review for The Invisible Man, where I wear a green shirt.
That would be amazing.
That's a great idea. So I gotta get these all down on paper. But I suppose we will leave it there.
It's green suit. And like a hat and stuff.
That would be great. But yes, I suppose we'll leave it there. Thanks everyone so much for coming and joining us. If you've made it this far, bless your soul. And we will see you either next week or the week after that to talk about Jaws 3D, a new terror in the third dimension. Yes, because God, it was so dang catchy, the slogan. Yeah, it might take a couple weeks for Jackson to sit through this one. He's not going to be very motivated, but I'll make him do it. I've already done it. Thank God, it's done. I got some notes. But hey, there's a lot of funny stuff.
Alright, I'll keep an eye out.
Alright, thanks everybody. We'll see you next time.
We might.
Might.